And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show 5 days a week.
But they don't get to say everything that's on their mind.
So they have an extra one.
And that's how we
get the podcast. The podcast.
I was waiting to see if anybody was going to sing because Patrick wasn't in here.
Podcast. The podcast. The podcast.
Big D and Bubba's podcast.
Oh, yeah. Good morning.
Pick a note, D. Pick a note.
Pick a note. Oh, like for singing?
Yes. I was all over the place.
Jump on. I do it on purpose, though. I purposely sing off key.
That's
It's
a good move.
great excuse.
Strong.
As we are broadcasting here on the podcast, or podcasting here on the podcast, from the O'Reilly Auto Parts studio, O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. I'm one of your hosts, Big D. That's your other host. I'm sorry. I'm Bubba.
Wait a
That's
second.
Big D.
Are we doing the twin thing?
I don't know what we're doing. Hi, Patrick. Patrick just walked in.
I'm Big D.
He's Big D.
That's
I'm
Carson
Bubba.
over there.
That's
Carson
Carson.
needs to walk up.
Carson,
music.
and
Patrick is
this
right there.
is old granddad.
Oh.
Big D started having that
You
thing
brought
where
your
he
grandpa.
pretends he wants to drink whiskey. Like, bring me a shot of whiskey, which Big D does not drink, for those of you keeping score.
What are you doing with this? Are you really actually
froofy drinks?
Yeah.
Like an
Are you really actually going to pour D some whiskey?
Yeah, I have here. I don't have a shot
this-
glass. This is like one of those little.
It's like cold medicine?
Yeah, this is what you give cough medicine. So instead of a shot,
Okay.
I'm gonna pour
Well-
D 2.5 milliliters of old granddad whiskey.
This looks like
Maybe
the
5 milliliters.
While you
things
do
I
that,
put my
if you-
sample in for my vasectomy.
If you love music, you need to download the Pickle Jar app. Do this immediately. Show some gratitude to your favorite artists and support some great causes around town. Plus, you can watch exclusive content and stuff that you can't find anywhere else. Download it today. If you got an Apple, if you got a Droid, picklejar.com. All right, you good
why
and
are you
poured?
using? Why is it so little? Why are you not using much at all? Oh, what are you about to do?
First of all, you're not gonna drink much. If I pour you a shot, you're gonna take a sip of it. You're not gonna drink a lot of it.
I'm
Just
not
let
going
it
to
touch
check
his
out on
lips.
this. Give me some of that. I'm a
Okay,
grown
you want more
man.
than this? Is that what you want? You're saying?
I do not.
No, you
I did not say that.
Good for you, D.
I was just asking why. That's all.
Because first of all, I picked intentionally what I think is the meanest whiskey on my shelf.
What do you mean by meanest
This is
whiskey?
100 proof. It's got what we call a lot of upfront. Feel like it hits you
Like the burn?
on the front end. Yes,
This is
I had some the other day. Some
got a lot of front end.
Delsum.
It's not. Yeah, this is from a cough syrup.
It says Delsum.
You know.
I had like something like Four Roses the other day, and it's got a lot of front end.
Yeah, Four Roses is good, but there's Four Roses Reserve that's much better and smoother.
I don't think I had that one. I didn't know there was a difference.
This isn't just Old Granddad. This is Old Granddad bonded 100 proof. This is some
What's
You
the
know.
bonded mean?
bonded depends on
Means
if it's
it's
from
tied to the
Kentucky or
bed.
Tennessee. It's based on state laws. Wow, Bubba.
Dude, you asked.
I wish the camera was on Carson right now. Just look, Carson's like,
I don't know. Just give us an insight into
Like,
your
how
house.
much
is what-
have you already drank? What did I come into?
Bubba. No, nothing.
This smells like a byproduct of some sort of a chemical reaction.
Hell yeah.
It is.
I guess you're right.
All right. So everyone, let's all imagine Big D's face as he just knock it back. That's a
I
half.
am not
That is
knocking that
5
Knock it back.
milliliters.
I'm not
This is
knocking that
eight.
back.
Nothing. That's like literally an eyedropper.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Okay, yeah, let's go.
3, 2, 1. Oh. Why are you covering?
That's exactly the face that I want him to make when he takes a.
I will say this though, with things that have a lot of upfront burn,
Yeah.
I make
front end.
whiskey face too. And I mean, I've been drinking for a long time, but I still. Are you awake? You good now?
Whew. What parts of my body are supposed to be numb?
Yeah. Oh, you enjoy that?
It's a slow like movement. Like it starts here and I can feel it like
But unlike some whiskeys that burn on the back end, like that one, doesn't it leave a nice aftertaste? Like,
Can you smell it, Bubba?
oh yeah, it's strong.
I
smell
feel
my
like I
coffee
can
'cause
smell. Oh yeah, you
My
got coffee in front
is
of you.
right in front of my
Oh,
face.
I feel like
Carson, you want a shot of Old Granddad?
nope, sure don't. Thank you though.
I can see the allure of that.
Mhm.
I get it. Like so like if you're gonna go out and go out with the buds and like you're really gonna tie one off or whatever, just tie it on. Were you tied on or off? Is it
But tie it on. But I don't.
Tie it off like a
Some
boat.
people do shots, and when we were young, we used to do shots of whiskey. You don't shoot whiskey.
So you
shouldn't
just
shoot tequila, quite frankly. That's
You
just
shoot deer.
You know,
do you just sip it?
yeah. You see that as much as you just knocked back, that's more than I would take a sip of. When if a glass of whiskey,
you're
you just
sipping.
sip on it all night. That's not bad.
You'll sip on that whole.
No,
what
no,
I
no,
did
I'm
it
saying
all night.
That amount that you shot
Is about his sip.
maybe a little more than
Oh,
a sip.
one
Just
sip.
a sip. Just a sip. You get that flavor. Let it get all over. And get,
That's how
you know,
I'll drink scotch that way. It'll
stays
take me
with
an
you.
hour to kill a glass. I'm like, I am not in a
I'm
hurry.
not that good. I can't
am-
sip on a glass for an hour.
I am not in a
But
hurry to get that scotch down, man. I'm like,
I was at CMA Fest last night, and in the press box, all they have is beer and wine. And I'm like, I have to go downstairs and buy a whiskey. Or, I'm not going to lie, I'm not above sneaking it in. But
Did you sneak it in?
I didn't. I'm
But now he knows
thinking
to.
about. I don't know. I can't believe I'm saying that on the podcast.
how do you
I
do
s-
that with like metal
I
detectors
snuck
and
in
stuff?
a bottle of Jack Daniels, an entire fifth of Jack Daniels, into the O2 Arena in London. Did I ever tell you that story?
Just under boob.
This, no, look, you're making fun, but it's close
put
to
it in
thi-
his bra.
So here's the thing: it's cold. It's like February, so it's cold in London. So we're all wearing like big jackets, and so Jack Daniels. This has a cork, but a lot of things have screw-on metal tops. Jack Daniels has a screw-on plastic top, and I'm sitting there going, now they have these fancy things where you go through and you walk through fast, and they just see. I don't know
They
what it's not like a
scan your
metal
body.
detector. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was 4 years ago with the O2. It was just a metal detector. And only if you pop the metal detector are they going to wand you. They're not going to pat you down. I'm like, it's a glass bottle with a plastic top. How are they going to know I have it? He's like, my friend Dominic, like, you can't sneak that in. It's not like you can sneak it in. I took this bottle and I put it right there.
That is a side benefit of being a big person.
Being a big guy, and then I put my jacket on, and he goes, "Oh no, you're gonna sneak this in." I'm like, "Yeah, you can't see this. It's just right there next to me, especially with the jacket on."
By the way,
like, it's
Patrick
just totally,
is currently carrying. If you back up a little bit, people will see it. He's
Well, yeah, if
currently
you're not
carrying a bottle of old granddad in his side, like I would carry a firearm. Like this
it's
is
on the side of my belly, kind of, but it squares up. It doesn't. And yes, obviously you can see this sticking
But
in
not
my
with a
pants.
coat.
It's just in my waistband.
Are all your pants stretchy pants?
Yeah, all my pants are stretchy pants. Not all of them. I mean, I have
Patrick
some
was
dress pants,
concealed
but-
carrying that day.
I went to go see Garth in Buffalo, and I was going with a friend of mine, and we were meeting her friends before the show, and they were kind enough to say, hey, you can stay at our house afterwards, because it was when Garth did the double show, so it was very late. And so I get there, and I don't know these people at all. And on their kitchen table, they had a bunch of running bladders, which is what distance runners use to carry water on them. And they're plastic, and you can Velcro them or tape them onto your body so that way you can stay hydrated. Well, they take these bladders and fill them with Jim Beam or Jack Daniels. I don't know, some
And
guy's
it's all
name.
like, and there's no metal involved.
There's
in
no
that.
metal, and it conforms to their body.
Patrick,
So
are you
they
paying
are-
attention?
They are putting it on their abdomens. They're strapping them to their calves. I have never seen
So much
such
alcohol?
a production to sneak booze in. Also, they weren't poor. They could have afforded the booze at the show, but they're like, nope, we're getting our pregame on. What they failed to figure out was who was going to drive. And of course, I'm the idiot that stayed sober. So they're like, you can drive our car. You don't even know me. You don't know me. They're like, here's the keys. All right. Okay.
Well, they trust you because you were sober.
Because I was sober. That they were like, oh, we got a dumb one. We can use her. And I had never seen that amount of energy. Even at Ole Miss, I don't think we worked that hard to sneak liquor into the stadium for football games. You would just
Right.
like tape a flask to your thigh and you were done.
I need to make this note.
Yep,
Running bladder.
running bladders. Yep.
Running bladder. Running bladder, everyone. Running
Yeah.
bladder.
I
I've
ditched
seen
them the
women
first shot I
wear
could.
bras that had. It's called the wine rack.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bra that's got
Good pun.
the padding is
pretty good one.
basically liquor. I've seen people do it with Ziploc bags inside of Ziploc bags. And you can't find. The
I've
thing
seen
is-
women sneak it in their hair.
What?
That if
What?
you do a really big bun or you do a ponytail with like 3 or 4 elastics,
can put
it'll
it in a
group
bun.
together. They do. They just stick it in their hair.
What I don't know is with these new things, because I don't know how it works. That new thing they make you walk through.
Yeah.
They don't have that at a lot of places, but it's starting to be a thing.
feel like the running bladder might still work though.
Would it still work?
In the barn. I can put it in a barn.
I can't believe you remembered that.
I got my itch back.
Put it in the barn. And I can
Put it in a barn. I got my itch back. I got my itch back.
The running bladder thing is amazing. I'm like,
That's
this
how I
is
knew I was working with
awesome.
true alcoholics.
Running bladder.
Yeah,
Well,
that
here's
was
the thing, though. I
I
don't
was
mind
just saying the medical
spending-
condition filled incontinent.
I don't mind spending money on food and drinks, but I mean, it does get ridiculous at football stadiums, baseball stadiums, like
Oh, yeah.
in concerts. It's insane. Drinks specifically.
Well, because they know you want it, and they know you're willing
Yeah,
to
but,
pay
like,
whatever the price is,
one
and you're a
drink
captive
being
audience.
$12, $13, $15. One drink, one beer is $12. No, that's too much, man. That's just crazy. Like, I get the markup. I get this is how you make your money, but y'all are just taking advantage of people.
I
at
used to
some point.
work in a bar back in the day, and I want to say each beer, our actual cost on the beer was like a quarter.
on tap, maybe
It
back
was-
in the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It
You
was
know.
back in the day, but still a quarter. So let's say even if it's 50 cents now, and
Yeah.
they're charging $12,
The Loose
mean-
Caboose on the Strip in Lafayette, Bubba, used to have 50-cent Old Milwaukee. So they had to be making money off of it. So so it must not have cost them more than that.
There
Oh
is-
yeah, and it was a small cup. You know those little
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
plastic cups, but still 50-cent beer.
Little clear ones?
Oh yeah, the little clear ones. 50-cent Old Milwaukee at the Loose Caboose.
Oh,
man.
wow.
And
Yeah.
let me tell you, nobody ever got carded at the Loose Caboose. I'm just being honest with you. Or they did, they carded you, and if you were under 21 but over 18, they put an X on your hand and you go inside and the bartender would serve you anyway. They didn't care.
Yeah,
It
I
was
used to go to
awesome.
bars like that in Memphis when I was in college, and they would put the big X on your hand with knowing that you just go and wash
Go
it off.
wash it off.
Right.
And nobody cared because it was like, oh, you got the X if you're underage. You got nothing if you were of age. So, yeah, it
And by
wasn't
the
hard.
way, that's not a permanent marker. Good luck, Janelle.
Yeah.
And real quick, isn't that backwards? Like, shouldn't they have been marking the people who were old
Yes,
enough
No,
to
but
drink?
they
because then-
did it on purpose so that people, so that they
because then
did
I would
their
just
job.
sneak in a Sharpie.
Yeah.
They did. It's not their fault if I cheated the system.
Oh,
Listen, people
They-
talk about, a lot of people don't know what the loophole was. People talk about the loophole in Louisiana. Louisiana is the last state where you could drink at 18. Everywhere else in the country, it was already 21. And they pressured, the federal government and the insurance companies and stuff started pressuring the state to change their drinking law. So but the drinking law was 21. The loophole in Louisiana was that it was illegal for you to buy alcohol, drink alcohol, and possess alcohol if you were under the age of 21. It was not illegal for stores or bars to sell it to you. So if they didn't, there were no penalty. If you walked into the 7-Eleven or the whatever, the Diamond Shamrock, which was what was right by my house, and you bought a case of beer,
that's on you.
you were breaking the law, but the store owner couldn't be fined. There were no fines in place.
So
There was
you
no
were breaking the law
punishment.
because you possessed it,
Exactly.
and because you bought
And
it.
it might have technically been illegal, but there were no penalties set up. There was they didn't come down on them at all.
That's great.
So yeah, so basically the drinking age was de facto 18 in the state of Louisiana until I was 14 or 15, and then it was like, oh man, almost got there.
You guys ever take any of your grandparents' medicine in their bathroom?
Never.
No.
we
No.
did.
I did
we
one
did take
time.
liquor out of my dad's liquor cabinet though, because
What was your little trick you guys would do?
Oh man, we stole vodka and we replaced it with water. And
He'll
then
never
we
notice
used
that.
flat Dr. Pepper to start taking the whiskey out of one. We're like, well, that thing's half full. And we used to. At first, we were just taking it. We'd like pour a little bit in our stuff, and then we'd leave. And I realized, well, that bottle, the line is getting lower. And even though my dad doesn't drink, at some point he's going to notice it's gone. So we're like, what we'll do is we'll take the rest of it. We'll just replace it with water. And then it was like, how do we replace the whiskey? Get a Dr. Pepper, and we'd shake it up and get it to where it's real flat, and then add water and get the color right. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what?
A lot of thought went into that.
Yeah, nice
That looks
job.
the same. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Well, that was like Dean Martin back in the day before he actually became an alcoholic, used to pretend to be an alcoholic on
Oh,
stage.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, he was absolutely dry during all the when he was with Jerry Lewis, the Martin and Lewis years, and then the Sinatra years. Yeah, he was drinking apple juice and tea and all that kind of stuff. He would have a bottle specially made for him of, it looked like Jack Daniels, but it would be some kind of tea or something that he would drink, and then he would just pour it out into his glass, and he was constantly drinking, but it was an act. When he was sober, his son died. And he really went into depression, and that kind of is what kind of finished him off.
I mentioned earlier, my best friend Dominic lives in Germany. He married a Polish girl, and so there's a Polish tradition that at the wedding, anybody can go up to the groom and tell him to do a shot of vodka with them. Okay, once each. So but there were going to be
how many people at the wedding?
60, 70 of her relatives there. So
oh my gosh,
we were like, yeah. The point is to
how's he supposed to have a honeymoon night?
That's the point. The point is to get the groom so drunk that he passes out and they have to carry him to the room, and I guess they'll have to finish this tomorrow. Like, that's their whole thing. Okay, so he knew it was coming. So we had a liter of Absolute vodka, this big giant, bigger than this bottle. Okay,
take me to your
and
liter.
We poured it out into like a plastic jug. We filled it with water, and then we had it sealed. He worked at a chemistry lab, and we got like the seal to make it to where it looked brand new. And we put that bottle special. That was the groom's bottle. Okay, and then he had one that he did another one. It was me. That was the best man's bottle. Because if the other thing is, if the groom passes out, the best man has to take the shots for him. Like, I'm not doing this. But I also don't want to get beat up by Polish guys I don't know, so let's fake it. So we started with each a full liter of water, and only the two of us were drinking out of our bottles that everybody saw us open, so they must have been real. Yeah, we still got hammered. They got through that bottle, and when we were each done with our liter of water, we had to get another bottle of vodka.
But they must have been looking at like you guys and like especially Dominic going, this guy is a machine.
No, and I think they were, I mean, he's a big guy, and he's, German, so they were like, it's fine. He's fun of us. And then one of the Polish cousins, though, comes up to me at about 1 a.m. and goes, I didn't think Americans could drink like you. I'm impressed. I'm like,
you did us proud, Patrick.
I did. I faked it.
Thank you. International relations.
Yep.
But
was there anyone at that wedding that had only one arm and climbed up a tree?
is that a Polish joke?
It's a Polak joke.
How do you get a one-armed Polak out of a tree, Carson?
You can't say that word.
You can't say Polak?
No.
Is that offensive?
Yes. What are you guys doing?
I mean, what's the difference? Okay,
pole.
as someone who doesn't.
I thought that was that.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, that's like saying, how do you get a one-armed American out of a tree?
Okay, yeah.
No, it's like saying, how do you get a one-armed pole out of a tree?
No one's gonna know what people think pole is.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
like
just,
a pole.
Look, man. Look, man.
Are we offending Polish people?
Look, man.
The white people are coming after you,
I mean,
Patrick.
they are, man.
Well, anyway,
Well, it's okay.
well, the answer is you wave at them.
You wave at her. You wave at her. Carson, one time we called Poland. Of
course we did.
No, we did. I have the tape somewhere.
Oh, did we do Polish
We
jokes?
called Poland and asked them if they tell American jokes in Poland.
Oh,
like
yeah, I
we tell
remember.
Polish jokes, and he was like, "No, we don't." And we told him some. We were like, "Well, most Americans are fat, so you could say things like, I don't even remember."
Would
what
you
we
teach
told
him yo mama jokes? I mean,
we might as well have. We might as well
I
have.
think, didn't we actually turn some of the Polish jokes into American jokes? And we're like, an
You know what
example
happens
is.
now. I'm gonna go find that tape because I know I have.
Yeah, did you know? Did you hear about
I
the
don't know if
American?
I want to hear this.
Did you hear about the American who couldn't make ice? He forgot the recipe. It was kind of one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
But it was a Polish joke. Oh. Anyway, well, I grew up on those, but
I know.
Racist. Is it racist though if you're picking on people's country? Like,
I don't think so.
I mean, like, let's say you're making a Canadian joke.
Uh-huh.
And it's, it doesn't matter. There's Canadians of all races, right?
Right.
Then you're not being racist. You're just being like countryist.
Nationalist?
I don't even think nationalist, just countryist.
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
I'm tired of all the ists. I don't like labels.
Anyway, I opened my grandmother's cabinet in the bathroom one time, and I didn't. I just opened the bottle of her medicine and just took one.
A swig?
No, it was a pill.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
It was estrogen.
It made my blood pressure go down. So I guess it was blood pressure medicine. Did you find it?
Yeah,
I
we
don't
don't
wanna
want
hear
to
it.
do. We don't want to hear that.
Yeah, you do.
No,
'Cause you
we
know what?
don't.
I don't want to hear that.
Usually Bubba sounds like he's 11 years old, but in this one, even D sounds like he's a
this is
teenager.
really
This
old.
is really old. This
Where,
is like
where is this at?
it's on the extra button bar.
Oh,
it's
it's
right
so
there at the
extra.
top. I haven't listened to it. I want to warn everybody. This could be really.
Yeah, I say we don't. Do
I think
this.
you should.
No,
I think
it's
you should.
In the
I think
modern
it's a little.
era. People are what you
Are
know
you
something
drunk?
that we
Are we
might have
drunk?
done. Yeah, he must be. He must be because usually
No.
Patrick is the no
It's
guy.
going, no.
I don't think there's anything offensive in this. I think it's just going to be hard for us to listen to because it's like
This is like 20-year-old
20-year-old
audio.
radio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just listen to 5 seconds.
Oh,
of
just
it.
listen to the beginning.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I don't.
Oh, the very
No, I
beginning.
wanna
Listen to
hear it
Dee's
now.
voice. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Are we sure?
Just
Man,
enough.
we've been perplexed by something over the last little bit. And we're
Oh, he's like talking fast.
Is it sped up or something?
No, that's the real tape.
Did you tell
we just got to get to the bottom of it. But it requires us calling Poland.
And Patrick is dialing the phone. Do we have a
Who is
a
that?
racing yet?
I don't know, but he sounds sexy.
Patrick is over there
Yeah,
on the
you know
phone
what?
right
It
now.
has music behind it that
Did
we
you
can't put on
guys
the podcast.
Avril
You got
Lavigne
saved.
Bubba?
Yeah.
No.
Did
yeah.
Bubba
Well, what happened is
Did
my,
like Bubba die and then you got like this dude that looks like
Oh,
Bubba?
conspiracy theory right now.
my voice dropped as I gained weight. I think.
Yeah. Don't keep playing it. You're saved by the fact that there's music on there we can't put on a podcast. So there you go.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, y'all! I just
That's-
got copied on a text message with 20 other people.
Oh,
and
who
my
does that?
Kelly Ford. Oh my
Oh,
god!
Kelly.
And now it's all the replies.
Oh,
like,
I'm on here
Can
too.
you not back out?
No,
like
I don't know
leave
how
the
to do it.
conversation.
No, you can't
No.
do that. I think the new iOS you might be able to. The new
Yeah, the
iPhone
16
iOS.
that they're
yeah.
about to put out.
I
You see-
can mute it. You can mute the conversation,
Oh,
and you
okay,
won't
good.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can mute it on
right,
iPhones
good.
too. The new iOS that's coming out is really cool. Let's say you send a text message yesterday to somebody and you're drunk and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. You can go through and delete it. And
You
it
can
deletes
finally
it.
delete.
It's coming.
Oh, is that
Wow.
only on iMessage, not on text message?
It's
but
only on
iMessage?
iMessage. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll only be on iMessage.
Oh, that's good.
And
I
you
send
can
stuff all the time that
and
I
you're
go,
like,
gosh,
oh, why did I do that?
I do it all the time.
Yeah, so now you'll be able to
sent one
delete.
to my
It'll delete on
wife.
your end and their end.
I sent one. Oh, that's the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I sent one to my wife earlier. I went, that was a joke. I was just,
kidding.
I was actually kidding, but the bad
Psych.
thing is, psych. The bad thing is I know, we all know whenever we make a joke, but you don't know what the end user is going to read it as, and you're like, oh, this is going to be really terrible. I love that.
I got a fight over with a boyfriend once because he sent me a text and it made no sense the way that I was reading it, and I suspected he was cheating. And I'm like, this wasn't meant for me. But and he's like, no, it was. I'm like, I don't get it. But and we got in this whole big fight, and it turns out I didn't read what he was saying properly, the way that he'd written it. It's all inflection, and yeah, so it really.
Yeah, text is hard.
Yeah.
For that.
That's why it's going to be great that we can take those
Yep.
back.
Yep.
I'm sorry. If you hear me like making weird noises, I'm watching the baseball game while this is on. So if you hear me go,
Also, it could just be that he's hammered because I gave
could
him
be it. You
a
did.
third of a shot of whiskey.
He had a thimble of whiskey.
He's making new noises.
I got to go to the bathroom.
Don't break the seal, man.
Don't do it.
Man, I'm looking at this thing. There's I'm looking at this thing
That's
about
from
What's that?
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Steve
don't think I've
Martin,
ever
one of
seen
my
that.
favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
He says,
May I go to the bathroom, please?
he goes, of course.
And he goes,
so he's peeing right there.
and then he just stops and he goes, "Thank you." It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Have you seen the one where I forget the comedian, he's at a public pool and he's a lifeguard and he blows a whistle and he says, all right, hey, everyone out of the pool, I got to take a bathroom break. You know, he's the only lifeguard there.
Lifeguard, yeah.
Everyone gets out. He goes in the pool in peace and he goes, okay, you can get back in now.
I mean,
All right, we're going to get very personal. You got to pee. Do you step out of the shower?
No, of course not.
no.
Okay, just making sure. Carson's being very quiet. She's like, I ain't saying a word.
You don't have to. Carson, do you? No. So you are you all right?
I'm going to do that on my Instagram today. Do you get out of the shower to pee?
There.
And
Nobody will say
I'll
that.
just-
Nobody does.
Nobody does. People who say there's two types of people: people who pee in the shower and liars. Those are the two types of people.
They're all pipes. They go to the same place.
Yeah, right. I mean, come on.
Ooh, that's salsa. Yeah. And you know they make
Gee.
they're doing these. I'm starting to see the commercials now for them during the game. They're using the what do we have? The VR goggles.
the Oculus?
Oculus. Yeah. So they use Oculus, and you put them on, and you hold a bat in real life, and there's the controller. There's a thing that the controller attaches to the bat, and you are in a game with a pitcher who's throwing, and it looks like you're in the batter's box.
Yeah.
And so you're doing virtual reality to get the swing down.
Is
so
it cartoony?
No, it's realistic. Like you
Oh.
can pull up real pitchers. Like,
Oh.
like
So you can know
real
what it's
people.
like to face off against whomever.
Yeah, and so you can load it up with random, or you can go, hey, throw me nothing but curves, throw me nothing but heat, throw me change up, mix it up, whatever. And gives you your brain so that you can see it, and it's not just like a regular BP. It's like actual game speed and reaction. It's pretty neat. They've been using it for, I don't know, 2 years, I guess now, but it's kind of going mainstreamy. I don't use my Oculus at all, hardly. Anymore.
I used to use mine, but it was messing with my eyes a little bit. I didn't realize. Remember, I was like, "Man, I'm having
Yeah, you thought you were
issues
getting-
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought my vision was getting bad, and so I got to tell you, I love my Oculus. I was on it 4 hours a day. It was fantastic. I would get on and just spend a lot of time in VR, and I noticed eye strain. And I stopped doing it for like the last month. My vision's back to normal.
That's weird. That's like the jerk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there is
It'll
something
mess
to
you.
it.
There's got to be something to that. I can't imagine that this is good for your eyes, no matter
It
how
is-
far out,
it-
how it's done.
It's weird. You can feel it. I can feel my eyes like going.
But see, I quit feeling it because my eyes were adjusting.
Yeah.
Those muscles.
There
in
is
your
a new
eyes.
study out showing that our phones are do damage to our eyes, though.
Our phones are.
Yep.
I can't
just saw
see
that
that
yesterday.
being true.
Well, you can't see anything because you're looking at your phone too much.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I do love my Oculus. You know, it's. I have a friend that I hang out with, and we'll go and we'll have like a whiskey or whatever, and he's got an Oculus or a VR rig, and I'm like, dude, he's about to move. I'm like, man, you know, we can get on our VR rigs and have our whiskey with us and still drink together and talk like we do today, just in VR world. Because I've told you guys, when you're in those rooms, you're looking around, you're looking to if somebody's sitting next to you, they're legit sitting next to you in cartoon form.
I get it, but that's still not the real world.
It is the real world.
It's
If I can
not
still
the
hang
real
out,
world.
if I can hang out with my bud who lives 500 and something miles away, and we're talking face to face, and you're seeing, I mean, you see where the eyes are, because they track all that. You see where their eyes are going. You know, you see the body motions, the hands, the shoulders, whatever. You see all of that in this VR rig. And it's pretty cool, man. So I was like, yeah, you got to get your Oculus fixed because he some kind of mess up, whatever. I don't know what he did, but I'm like, yeah, you got to get that fixed so we can still hang out and drink whiskey together.
It's just not worth it. It's not worth the whiskey.
Thank you, Cole Swindell.
See what you did there.
Speaking of Cole Swindell, who's going to CMA Fest? D, you coming tonight
For Cole?
for any of it?
I might. Who's playing?
Tonight, I have no idea who's on tonight.
Carly
I know.
Pierce?
Carly Pierce,
I'm going tomorrow.
Cole Swindell, Lane
Did you see
Wilson.
Carly's doing a pop-up shop today, Carson?
No, okay. I'm about to go downtown, so I guess my day went from I'm just going to go have lunch with a friend to now I have 6 things that I'm going to go
Oh, fun.
stop by at. What am I thinking? I'm not this person. I don't like people. I'm not social, but here we are.
It's on her.
Yeah, I'll go look.
Wait, I didn't even tell you what it is.
So what kind of stuff is she
Oh
selling
no, I
at
just
her
figure I'll
pop-up
go
shop?
because it'll be a good. I'm sure I'll take
Is
a
she
selfie.
going to be there? Is Carly Pierce
no,
going to act?
no.
Oh,
She said, "Hey y'all, I'm cleaning out my closet. Time to find a new home for so many of my clothes. With many of you coming to Nashville this week for CMA Fest, Perfect time to host a pop-up shop.
She's basically having a
She's
yard
having
sale.
a yard
Sell
sale.
them.
Harley
wait.
Beer's having a yard sale, calling it a pop-up
I'm
shop.
totally going to that because
And-
she and I have the same taste in shoes.
Selling them for a great cause. Join me at Noel, Nashville, 200 4th Avenue North.
Okay.
Proceeds go to Music Health Alliance. Provides healthcare resources. People, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's from 4 to 6
genius.
today. 4 to 6 today. You can go buy some of her clothes.
That is so genius.
Kind of awesome.
I'm going to show up.
Try everything
You
out.
have this
come
in
look
my
around.
size?
Try everything on and get it as tightly on as possible, and then like try to give yourself a hug.
Yeah.
Fat guy in Carly's coat. Yeah, so she's doing that.
That's cool. That's
I'll
really
have to go take a
really
look.
neat.
Yeah,
Well, I
she's
know
fun.
Garth supposedly put in some limited edition merchandise.
Not
in his
supposedly.
store.
He's straight up said he's doing it.
I
right?
mean, he said that, but he also said he was going to send me Central Park merch, and I haven't seen that. So,
wow, did you just use the podcast to call out Garth
sure
for
did.
not sending you something?
But yeah, I figure I'll go look at limited edition Garth merch and probably buy.
What is it? Did you say Garth said that he's going to get you some merchandise from?
Yeah, he said
he
he
told you that.
Yeah. He
Garth-
said he
okay.
found merchandise from Central Park from 98 and that they were thinking about putting it in the stock. And I was like, wait, whoa, what? Like, talk to me about vintage shirts, Garth. And he's like, no, we'll get you some. I'm like, no, whatever. He's like, no, we'll get that sent to you. Well, that was April 15th.
She
At
doesn't say the exact
7:14.
day. It was April 15th. It was 3:30
I
in
was
the
also
afternoon. He was
recording
wearing
it.
a blue shirt and black
Oh, I have it on
shoes.
video. So no, I mean, he owes me nothing, but it would be really nice to get my hands on
How
those
often do
vintage
you
shirts.
do you and he text?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
We're not supposed to know that Carson has Garth Brooks' phone number.
Have you texted him?
Not today.
What? Why are you being so weird?
Wow.
about
I don't
it?
know.
have-
Like we texted a little yesterday.
I've heard you say that before, but I let it pass. I'm like,
Yeah.
surely she was just, she meant like she was. No. Okay.
Yeah, you texted him yesterday.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say something to us?
Why would I tell you that?
Why would? What do you mean? Of course you should.
Because then it would come out.
What
yeah.
y'all talking about?
We were actually talking about his store. So.
Does he ask questions? Because I like.
Yeah, who initiates it?
Oh, I never initiate. No.
So wait. So
no,
you look
no.
at your phone and it says.
Yeah,
Garth
you
Brooks.
know,
She's on a chain with another friend,
yeah, so
and that
usually-
person is much more comfortable with her relationship with Garth at this point,
Yeah.
and so she
I
sometimes
just sit
initiates.
idly in the corner virtually and occasionally chime in.
Although yesterday there was like a joke about whether or not they would go work for Garth at his new bar on Broadway in Nashville, and I don't.
Yeah, he said he would work us like rented mules.
Garth.
And I said, do Big D and Bubba qualify as solid character references?
And he sent back a laughy smiley emoji.
Yeah, I got a smiley emoji and a heart. So.
That's as close as we're gonna get to Garth pretending he knows who we are.
By the way, that is the coolest thing ever. Like, you know, I mean, that's really cool. I have people. I know Big D texts a lot of people. He'll
Yeah.
you'll have conversations.
He's like
with
friends with actual
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I don't really.
The guy who goes to the least stuff,
Right, yeah.
and stays at his house more than all three of us combined.
Yeah, I don't have
friends, the
great
most
relationships with a lot of people, but there are a couple that I do talk to on a semi-regular basis. But it's not like Garth Brooks level. That's
Well,
crazy.
no one's at Garth Brooks' level.
Right.
Right.
Unless you tell me
Right.
you've got George Strait's phone number and sometimes he sends you memes, I'm not gonna
Memes.
memes. I
Hey,
imagine that's how
George,
George
send
Strait
me a
communicates. George Strait is sending everybody memes.
I hope he does.
He doesn't use emojis, but he loves him some memes.
I hope he does.
I've got to pick Clint Black up.
Okay.
The thing is, I'm not sure he's kidding.
I
don't
know.
think he's
I go,
kidding
it
at
could
all.
be happening. It could be.
His
Is that why you drove your car
his
today?
dream car is a '70 Chevelle, black too, actually. And so last time he was in it, we're talking cars. He's got a Panamera. I'm like, how you like it? He goes, you know, that's all he has is Porsches.
Yeah.
And he goes, I love it. Turbo, got it in black, and
Clint Black drives a black car.
yep.
Weird.
It's a Clint Black car.
And so I was showing him the Chevelle. He's like, he goes, if I was gonna get that would be it. I said, well, he goes, come by the house, and he goes, if you're out driving, call me or text me and come by pick me up. You can drive if you want. He's like, I'd love that. So I'm gonna maybe go pick him up today.
That's fancy.
Well, D just,
He won.
He just
He won.
spiked
I don't know.
that one.
Carson
I mean,
texting Garth.
I mean, that's Garth.
Not today, though. D just told us he's having a better rest of the day than all of us.
Yep.
Because he's going to go drive around in his Chevelle, which is cool on its own.
Yeah.
All we'll
With
do,
Clint
all we'll
Black.
do is we'll get in the car and we'll drive, and he'll drive, and we'll talk about whatever the
Cars.
and then we'll try and make each other. We'll try and out laugh each other, out joke each other.
Yeah.
Because our sense of humor is very similar, and so he'll try and do something, and I'll try and outdo it, and then he comes back with it. It's back and forth. We'll send the dumbest stuff back and forth, like text stuff. I was seeing the other day, and it's I've got to show it to you. It's two women talking, and says, "So how did you and your husband meet?" She says, "Well, I'm a pharmacist, and he came in and bought condoms, and he got an XXXXXL size condom, and then it wasn't until after we got married I realized he's a stutterer."
That's like a joke my grandfather would have told.
So great. And he was like, that sounds familiar.
All right. Well, please, if you are listening, watching, whatever with the podcast, subscribe, like, rate, share, do all the stuff, anything you can to help us grow, to keep this going. I mean, this is episode 387. We're getting close to 400.
God, I'm so drunk right now.
Big
I don't know that I can drive.
The thimble of whiskey.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know I can do it. I'm going to
Somebody
do it
Google
anyway.
in milliliters. What's a shot of liquor? What we call a shot in America in milliliters.
Can't you just ask Siri?
Shot of whiskey in milliliters. 44. So you had a ninth of a shot of whiskey.
9 shots.
A ninth of a shot.
A man who weighs
I don't know what you mean.
over 300
12%
pounds.
of a shot. Yes.
12% of a shot.
Yes. Not a
Where's-
shot.
You had basically 0.1 shots.
Yes.
Oh, so am I not drunk?
You are definitely not drunk.
Oh my God. Am I just doing this to myself then?
Yeah, it's mental.
Psychosomatic.
Yeah, I do. When I drink non-alcoholic beer, sometimes I feel like I have a buzz. I'm like, oh, wait, I have to check myself. Sam Adams, by the way, that Sam Adams, Just the Haze that we talked about is still super hard to find right now. It's like one of their best. I called Sam Adams, like the Boston Brewing Company. I'm like, why can I not get your stuff? And they're like, it's selling out. It's so popular. It's one of our, as the person told me,
They said
it's one of,
popular.
well, they said it's one of our most popular SKUs.
What is it's a non-alcoholic?
Non-alcoholic beer. It's Just the Haze. So it's like a hazy IPA, kind of a fruity IPA.
Oh, okay.
And it is
What's IPA?
India Pale Ale. It's
is
just
that
a style
of beer?
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
it's a type. Yeah, so you have your lagers, you have your different things, but
What's a lager?
it's just a different style of beer.
Okay.
Like you have pales.
I mean,
and
what is it?
It's just like your German style, like almost like your Budweiser would be like a
Deeper, like-
lager.
A darker color?
No,
It's actually lighter.
lighter. So like Budweiser would be like considered a lager. You're thinking of like porters and things like that. The real
What's the thing
dark
that we
ones.
had in Durango? But it was
That
it was coffee, but it was
I was gonna say that was
was a
nitro coffee.
but it looked like you said it looked like
Yeah.
the
It looked like a Guinness.
Guinness.
Yeah.
What is Guinness? Is Guinness a stout?
Guinness would be a stout. Yeah.
Okay, I think
I'm
I've heard
pretty
of it.
sure. Yeah.
Now that I'm in the
Yeah, Guinness is a
drinking
stout,
world,
you're right.
Yeah, Guinness is a stout. But yeah, so you have different, and I like a Guinness, but the problem is I can't drink a Guinness if I want to drink more because I fill up. It's so
Yeah, it's-
robust and full.
It's like food.
Yeah, it is. It's like eating a beer, and you're like, okay, I'm done. But anyway, I just I forgot what the whole point was.
you called Sam Adams.
Oh yeah, so I called, and they were just saying, yeah, it's one of our most popular things, and it's interesting because I know there's a lot of people. It's very torn on non-alcoholic beers, where people like, let's say you're an alcoholic. Some alcoholics swear by it. They say that it's saving them because they're never tempted to go and grab a regular beer. And then other people are like, you can't do that because that's a gateway to the worst of the worst. And they're like, look, if it's keeping me from drinking
I see
the alcohol, but
I see.
I can see both. But
so
You know, it
there is
depends
it's
on you,
split
you
camps.
know?
It really is. It depends on the individual. There are some people are like, you can't do it, and other people are like, no, this is the only reason I'm not an alcoholic now. And then it's the same thing with like pregnant ladies
Yeah, if
are
only They
drinking.
can make food without calories in it.
Right?
They're working on that. They're
I
working
wish
on
they
that.
were, man.
There's a new diabetes medicine that is making people lose a lot of weight.
Oh.
Really?
Do you have to have diabetes to take it?
I think so.
Oh.
You have it.
You want another quarter shot of whiskey there, D?
You give me another 2%
Yeah.
of a fraction of a ninth.
Fraction of a
Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week for episode 388.
Why don't you drink it and just breathe on me? I'll just smell your breath. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. It's a
This
party.
was the podcast, but now it's over.
That's
but that's
okay.
okay.
That's just as well.
You can listen to the regular show.
Everyone's wondering when
on
this would
the
happen.
radio every day. It was the podcast.